Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Outside the Octagon interview presented by the MMA Stooges. It's your host, Zack, and I am joined by your boy, Eryk Anders. Eryk Anders, how you doing? Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you now. You were muted.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. This thing it's connected
Now
to
I
the
can.
Bluetooth in my car, and dude, you sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks. It was weird.
Sweet. I mean that's cool. But no, I can hear you now.
All right,
So anyway, how's it going, man?
man. It's doing well, man. Just finished my training for the day. Now I get to rest, enjoy the rest of the Saturday, watch some fights, and catch up on some rest.
Yes. So your weekends, you're training, and then you just kind of go home, chill for the day.
Yeah, that's I come out here to Arizona, so I don't really have any responsibility other than to train. So if I'm not training, then I'm resting, eating, recovering, and then getting back to it.
I wanted to ask this. So I watch a lot of your Instagram videos. I see all your training sessions and stuff, which is sick. But I see you outside on the concrete in bare feet doing some of these drills. Doesn't that shit hurt?
Nah,
Especially you're in Arizona.
Man, I got these yabba dabba do feet. So yeah. I will say though, my feet are pretty nice for an athlete, especially like a jiu-jitsu player or somebody who does everything barefoot. Um,
Yeah,
I
I
got a
was.
pedicure the other day, and man, the sawdust that was coming off that nail file, I was like, oof, this lady is brave, and she did it barehanded with no mask. I was like, man, you're just a brave soul.
I was gonna say, because I'm like, you're in Arizona, it's hot as hell there, and then I'm like, man, he's out there on the concrete, like inside on the mats. Obviously, we know you go barefoot, all that stuff. You don't wear shoes on the mats, but I'm like, he's outside doing some high intensity shit, and it's barefoot. Like that shit's gotta hurt. I
Well,
know my
man,
feet are sensitive as hell. I would not be able to do that.
man, I heard that like working out barefoot, you kind of it like helps your, I don't know, like your balance and other things. You kind of your foot gets used to doing these movements and whatnot. So I really don't know how true that is, or if there is any truth to that at all. But I did it for my last fight, and I felt really good in athletics. So
Oh, it's a new thing.
yeah. I didn't always
Okay,
work out barefoot.
I was
I was
about to
actually against
ask.
it for the longest time. But the only time I wear shoes is like if I'm doing like power cleans or only on leg days when I wear and then I wear wrestling shoes at that. I don't even wear tennis shoes.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you did that at the Alabama weight room, because then you're
Yeah.
talking about catching some shit on your feet, some fungus or something like that.
Well, also when I was playing ball at Bama, I was lifting like an absurd amount of weight. So I don't think that so much weight is good for your body at all, let alone barefoot. My knees always hurt, my back always hurt. It was just unnecessary, I think.
Yeah, so sticking on to Instagram and your training, I actually saw some your videos of your sons. They're going to be athletes too. I can already tell. Your one son I saw hitting the bag. He could probably kick the shit out of me. Also, you had I think one of them was doing track. So I mean, it looks like sports are going to be a massive part of the Anders household.
Yeah, they you know, I'm not saying it because they're my kids, but they've been blessed with you know athletic talent. They're two different kind of athletes. I got two boys, 11 and 9. My oldest, he's a wrecking ball. He's a square peg, round hole. Blast double. Uh, but he's pretty fast, and he can move. He plays football, so he's like a football athlete. And my youngest, man, there's not a body movement or contortion that he can't do. He can run up the wall, do a backflip. He can throw all the spinning kicks and spinning whatever. Uh, he kind of reminds me of like Devontae Smith um, body type, AJ Green, like long and lean, but has like a tremendous amount of body control. And again, I'm not saying it because these are my kids. I'm just watching them and then comparing them to their peers. they really are, you know, a level above most of the kids in their, you know, age group.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a school teacher and I teach phys ed, so I see it every single day. And when I was watching your 9-year-old, I think he's the one that was boxing.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like he was almost an adult hitting the bag. I was like, damn, he can swing.
Dude, he lives and breathes MMA. I'm certain that he's gonna find fighting. Fighting is gonna be in his future. And he's never been punched in the face, so I don't really know. But man, all he does is talk about fighting. You know, if we get like a cardboard box or whatever, like a package at the house, he just takes the box and he beats it up. We got a punching bag in the house that he works. And, you know, like I said, you know, when I go to the gym and I'm, you know, being dad and babysitting and whatnot, and he comes with me to the gym, he'll go over there, work the speed bag. And, you know, I'm pretty sure he always talks about like, why do I have to go to school? Do I have to go to college? Yada, yada, yada. Like all he want to do is fight. So I'm just waiting for him to get punched in the face to see if it's what he really likes. And then my other son, he's all about football. And he got his first crackback, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, dude, now you find out if you really like football. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
Crackback blocks, man, suck. They suck.
The suckiest part of the sport. So, you know, he rebounded well. I'm sure he lost a few brain cells, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, so actually sticking on football too. So have you watched the draft at all? So I'm a Bears fan. I'll be honest with you. I was hyped as hell when they took Justin Fields. You're an Alabama guy though. What's your take on Mac Jones versus Justin Fields?
I mean, there's no question Justin Fields is a more athletic guy. My thing is, but, you know, at the same time, Mac Jones probably had the best wide receiving core in college football history. Like all the dudes that he was throwing to are in the NFL. Waddle he got hurt and still went number 6. You know, he didn't play this last season very much and still went, you know, top 10. So I guess there's pros and cons to both of them. I think Bill Belichick favors the Mac Jones, Tom Brady type over the athletic guys, you know. Cam Newton doesn't seem to be doing too great, but you know, there's pros and cons to both guys. You know, I think, you know, Mac Jones, I think playing for Bill Belichick is, you know, as close to playing for Nick Saban as you can get. So he's making that same transition. Justin Fields, I'm sure, is going to go through some growing pains and learning a system, learning a pro style offense, and you know, actually playing defenses. Because, man, let's be honest, the Big Ten isn't really known for their defense as much as it is their offense. So, you know, I'm happy for both guys. You know, one I'm really surprised at is San Francisco. You know, I don't really know about drafting a guy from South Dakota over a national champion. And, you know, I think Justin Fields was like the number 1 or 2 high school quarterback recruit coming out of high school behind Trevor Lawrence, who's probably has the highest draft grade of any NFL or college prospect, you know, NFL prospect ever, I think. So it is what it is. We'll see how it all shakes out. San Francisco isn't really known for making great draft decisions, I don't think. And Bill Belichick always finds a way to get everybody to buy into the system and mature and, you know, put up decent numbers. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah. I mean, I've been through it. The Bears had Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes sitting right there, and they took Mitch Trubisky. So, I mean, I've been through it, and I think the 49ers made a mistake. You got to go with someone that at least has some sort of experience and is winning. Like Deshaun Watson, to me, was a surefire, you know, going to be a thing in the NFL just based on wins and what he did in college. You know, Mitch Trubisky did nothing. And then it's the same thing here. You got Trey Lance, who
Trubisky played ball at
North Carolina. But 1-year starter at North Carolina. Like, that's what I mean. You had a guy in Watson, 4-year starter at Clemson, national champion. Like, you got to kind of, I mean, college does mean something. So it was a little, for me, like, it just, blew my mind, but I think they got it right this time. I'm all in on Justin Fields. Super pumped about it, and I didn't have a meltdown this time, so it all worked out.
Yeah, I just wonder what his deal was at Georgia. Maybe Kirby wasn't, doing him right. Obviously, he's better than the two guys who were there in front of him at Georgia, but I don't know.
Yeah, is football still a big part of your life? Like you love it?
What's that?
Is football still a big part of your life? Like you love it? I mean, obviously you played at the best college in the world, like the best college football program in the world. And then, I mean, you were in training camp with a couple teams. So what was like? I mean, is it still a huge part of your life?
No, that's not a huge part of my life. I don't have anything to do with football anymore outside of my oldest son. Actually, both of them. My youngest wants to play football now, but outside of that, I like to see Bama winning and stuff, and I keep up with. I like when I watch NFL, I like to watch, the Bama guys play and ball out and do it and all that. But if Alabama loses, my week isn't ruined like a lot of the diehard Bama fans.
All right. So are you training and getting ready for another fight? So we saw your last fight with Darren Stewart. You were winning the fight. Obviously, it got stopped due to an illegal knee. But are you getting ready to get back in the octagon? Because I feel like that was the best that we've seen you look in a while. Like you looked great. You put it on him. I mean, Darren Stewart was kind of riding a hot streak too at the same time.
Yeah, I did my first camp out here with Fight Ready. Came out here for like a full camp, 8-9 weeks, and then I'm getting ready to fight June 12th. I think it's June 12th. It's either June 10th or June 12th, something in there.
Nice. All right. Yeah. I always look forward to seeing you fight. I mean, I've been a big fan for a while. I think I've seen all your fights. I specifically remember the Machida fight was a huge one, which I've been a big fan of. But yeah, I mean, super pumped to see you back in there. And unfortunately, the illegal knee freaking sucked because you were literally just pouring it on Darren Stewart. It was for the amount of time that fight lasted. It was a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's it was my mess up. So I really can't point a finger or blame anybody other than myself. So it is what it is.
Do you think you have an underrated Instagram game? Like, I feel like you have top in the UFC, one of the better Instagrams, always putting funny stuff on there. But all they ever talk about is Derek Lewis's Instagram. They don't give Eryk Anders any credit.
Man, I think him and I have the same sense of humor. A little dark humor, and people doing stupid things and getting hurt. I think is funny. So. I don't know if it's overrated, underrated, or whatever. I just kind of do it for me, and whoever likes it, likes it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, so let's bring it back to 261, UFC 261. Do you think it's one of the greatest paper cards in general ever? Like that card was phenomenal. And what did you think about seeing all the fans back? Did it give you like an itch to be like, damn, like I cannot wait to do this in front of fans?
Yeah, of course, the fans always bring an extra element, and I think you saw that in the fights. I think all the fights in the main event were finishes.
Yeah, two decisions the whole entire card.
Oh yeah. So, is it the greatest card ever? I don't know. I think there've been some pretty good ones over the years, but definitely in recent history.
Who do you see anyone like Kamaru Usman now seems almost untouchable, but a lot of people think that Wonder Boy poses a threat due to his fight style. But then they're also saying, a lot of people love Colby Covington. I think at this point, Kamaru Usman steamrolls both of those guys. Do you see Kamaru Usman? What's next for him? I saw he called for Michael Chiesa now, which is kind of like a head scratcher.
I do think that Wonder Boy poses a threat to everybody. If you watch that fight with Masvidal, the way Usman was lunging and kind of getting extended over his toes, I think if he does that against Wonder Boy capitalizes on that. Because range and distance is his thing. Masvidal is not even that elusive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Wonder Boy poses a threat because he's so different than everybody else. An extremely hard guy to prepare for, I would imagine. Um, I think he does. I think he does. I think Wonder Boy beats Colby Covington too, simply because Colby is kind of marches forward, throwing ones and twos. So I think Wonder Boy cuts an angle and kicks him in the head. But man, you never know how these fights play out until they're played out. But I think outside of Pettis, Usman's not going to fight like Woodley. I don't know if he knows how to move backwards. That's how what's his name beat Wonder Boy Woodley. He kind of backed up, and exploded. Covered a lot of distance quickly. I don't know if that's Usman's skill set. So I think that Wonder Boy is an extremely hard person to beat.
Yeah, I agree. And at 38, man, still the elusiveness is just crazy at 38. The way that he can move around the octagon and not get tired for 5 rounds is just incredible.
Yeah. And I think he's going to fight Gilbert Burns. So,
yep.
We'll see.
So I want to get your take on Jake Paul. Jake Paul, how are you sick of this guy yet? Or are you like is it like, so everyone in the MMA community is a little bit different. I think a lot of people dislike him because he almost seems like he's shitting on the MMA community, but then he comes out and makes a statement against Dana White, like pay your fighters more. So there's some fighters who kind of side with him, and then there's the majority of people that can't stand his guts. What are your takes on Jake Paul?
Hey, your boy don't hate the player, man. He out there getting money, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Get your money, cash in your chips, and peace out. I think he's doing the right thing. Like he's not fighting Adesanya. He's not fighting guys his size. So the risk on his side is super low. Fighting Ben Askren, who, regardless of what kind of shape he's in, he's never really been. You take away his grappling, he's a dude in the street. So it is what it is, man. Get your money, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Jake Paul, but I gotta say he markets the shit out of those things. Like he really, like, people are tuning in just because they hate him, like hoping that he loses. But it's the perfect strategy.
Man, he's kind of creating this whole market with non-combat athletes going in there and boxing. You know what I mean? Like this, I don't know how much he made in that Ben Askren fight or KSI fight, but
it came out to like so Jake Paul made like $3 million. And then Ben Askren ended up clearing $1 million.
Yeah, that's more than, if you're not a champion, you're not making no money. Not money like that. So, like
you think you could hit the shit out of Jake Paul?
Man, I will beat Jake Paul's ass. Yes, I'm not gonna his ass out.
Do you think he got scared as hell when DC went up to him and was like, don't fuck with me? Do you think that he was scared?
Man, this is the thing. Like when that somebody can't touch you or hit you, like DC's on the job. He's on the clock. Of course,
that would be badass though.
Of course, he's not going to smack Jake Paul. But I bet you it would be a different scenario if DC ran up on him at the gym or saw him out in public somewhere. But if you're not going to get hit or slapped or whatever, then it's whatever.
I think that's what makes him cringy.
Setting up the fight, maybe DC setting up. That'd be a good whatever when they're hyping up the fight. So.
DC said he doesn't want to fight unless it's an MMA match because he said he would cut back down to 205 if it was an MMA match, but he said right now he weighs like 270, so that'd take some time. DC, he's living life on the gumbo, he's loving it.
Red beans and rice, baby.
All right, so I gotta ask the main event tonight. Who do you got? And then we'll let you go.
Man, that Yuri. I don't know how to say his last
name.
Prochaska. That's a bad dude. Man, but I will say I think that Dominic Reyes has the best boxing in the light heavyweight division. I think. He's got really
Still
good
so new to the
footwork.
sport too. He's only got what 14 fights. Still
Yeah,
pretty new to the sport.
he's super smooth on the feet. But man, I think that Yuri dude has like 25 fights and 23 of them are
Yeah.
finishes. You
And I
know?
think a lot in Ryzen, which Ryzen's pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know, Ryzen, they be doing that mismatch shit. They be doing that.
That's true too. And I'm pretty sure like Overeem's gonna go over to Ryzen. He's gonna get back on the rocket fuel, and he's gonna look
Is he really?
like a tank. That's what people are thinking, that he's gonna go back to Ryzen. And if he's back, like they let you juice there. There's no rules at Ryzen.
So he's gonna be Ubering, huh?
That'd be
I don't
sick.
think that Yuri dude is juicing like his physique.
Oh no, especially not now.
But man, that dude, he's a heavy hitter, and the way what he did to Volkan Ozdemir was pretty impressive. Yeah, that's a big guy too. Man, I think Yuri wins.
Yeah, I have Yuri too, and I know that you're a gambler. Are you gonna throw it? What are you looking at for tonight? Anything special?
I might put together a little parlay. I'm a last minute guy. You know, I try to say I'm not gonna bet.
I do the same shit.
2 or 3 fights, and I'm like, okay. I mean, let me see what these odds look like.
And you're staying by yourself right now, right? Because you're training. Like you're not at home with your family.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably go kick it with my dog Casey Kenny and you know, some other cats. Watch the fights and just kick it. But he's a gambler.
Who else trains out there?
So I'm sure as soon as he pulls out his phone and starts gambling, I'm gonna get that itch.
Who else trains out there with you right now? So you said Casey Kenny.
Well, I don't train with Casey Kenny. He's just a
okay.
Boy. You know,
Yeah, that's right. He's from Arizona.
He trains at the lab. I train at Fight Ready. But yeah, there's a lot of people out here, you know, getting in. Luke Saunders is fighting tonight. I think he's the first fight on the very first fight of the night. So should be an interesting fight.
All right, man. Hey, well, we really appreciate the time. Unfortunately, the boys didn't make it in, so he won't be able to bust your balls about being a Bama guy. Well, yeah, I know. He said that you ruined his childhood.
he can't say nothing to me.
He said he must have got scared because quote for quote he said, "I'm gonna make this the worst interview he's ever had."
It would be hard. It would be hard for him to do that.
You've had bad ones, huh?
What can he say? I won. At the end of the day, he can say what he wants, but Alabama won. So
I know.
It would be different if we had Colt McCoy or if we did this, if we did that. You lost.
Yeah, he's gonna listen. I'll make sure that. I mean, I'm gonna tell him that Eryk Anders said he won and to fuck off.
Yeah. If he was on the phone, he'd be saying "Roll Tide" by the end of the conversation, I think.
Oh shit! Well, we'll have to get you back on again, and this is actually your second time, but we'll get you on for a third time, and make sure that Kieran's here so you guys can talk some shit. I think the people would love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Hey, well, we really appreciate it. Looking forward to see you back in the octagon, and we'll see you next time, man.
I appreciate it, brother.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it. That's the outro. That's the Outside the Octagon interview presented by the MMA Stooges. Make sure you go check out Sheath Underwear, best underwear in the world. Don't forget to sheath your dagger. Use promo code Coffee and KOs at sheathunderwear.com. Get 20% off your entire purchase. It is chafing season. Do your balls a favor. Sheath your dagger. Best underwear ever. And we'll see you guys next time.